Very much, Courtney. Sherry Lynn, Sarah Finchen joining me from Kid Proof Edmonton. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
We're going to get right to this because we know this is the time of the morning when a ton of families are tuning in. And for a lot of families around the breakfast table or the dinner table, there's always this conversation, what do you do when you cross paths with a stranger? It sounds to me like the advice is changing.
Absolutely, yes. So there's the old message of don't talk to strangers is a little bit of a mixed message because first and foremost, kids need to know that a stranger is just simply somebody that they don't know. And therefore, who are they going to go to in a real emergency? And when no one they know is around, who are they going to go to if they can't talk to a stranger? So we need to teach them who to go to and how to safely talk to a stranger.
Now, of course, we hope that in best case scenario, there's a block parent sign or there's a police officer in the nearby vicinity, but that's not always the case. So you're an expert here with Kid Proof Edmonton, but you're also a mom. You've got a couple of teenagers at home, you've got 2-year-old twins. What's your messaging to your kids?
Basically, the basic message is to always keep your distance from a stranger when talking to a stranger. Go to, if in need of help, go to a mom with kids or a family with kids is usually the best idea.
So try to look for other kids in the relatively same age group. Kids, I guess, in a sense, are required or expected to be able to develop what you could call street smarts in a way.
Absolutely, absolutely, that's right. Yeah.
Okay, so I've heard you talk about a safety zone before. Yeah. Now, are you talking about actual physical distance that kids want to keep, or how do you define a safety zone?
Right, so a safety zone is basically the distance that we tell kids to keep the space between them and a stranger, which we tell them is 3 giant steps back is what we teach, just so that they can keep that distance and protect their personal space, and so that if something ever uncomfortable ends up happening, that they have that space to be able to turn and run.
Okay, so we know that kids know that they can trust Edmonton police officers, or if they ever saw a firefighter or probably a letter carrier or somebody in uniform, but at the same time we know that there are adults that sometimes aren't behaving themselves. Sometimes adults don't have the kids' best interests in mind. Are there any steps or signs that kids need to be aware of that would be a negative kind of a messaging? In other words, come with me or meet me here later?
Yeah, there's some common tricks that, predators use to lure kids away, such as, asking them for help is one that, sometimes they do, and kids love to please. So therefore, kids, though, should remember that an adult should never be asking a child for help.
So if an adult asks you for help, kids, that's a sign that you should keep your distance and probably run away.
That's right, as well as, bribing them with gifts such as, toys and candy or money, that type of thing as well.
So it's got to be family, friends that we recognize, mom and dad, grandma or grandpa that are offering gifts. It is fair to say, though, although the advice of don't talk to a stranger isn't necessarily applying anymore, don't accept gifts from a stranger probably still does.
Yes, absolutely. You betcha.
What else has changed when it comes to resources for kids? I know that we mentioned the block parent sign earlier, but now there's web resources. What should parents be aware of?
You know what? Our website has a whole lot of information, and we have monthly newsletters and blogs that are out there, and they can definitely visit our website.
Okay, this is kidproofliving.com.
You betcha.
And this is a partnership with Kid Proof Edmonton, as well as, I would imagine, some partners that you work with on a regular basis when it comes to law enforcement or other resources?
Yeah, and we normally provide child safety training kind of in and around the Edmonton area. We work with some local FCSS, which is Family Community Social Services, in and around the areas, helping provide programs to the kids in their community as well.
I used to sometimes wonder, of course we hear these awful stories of abductions, of things happening to kids, but you go, well, gosh, is this really still happening? I was just on Facebook the other day. A friend of ours, a personal friend of ours, his little guy told him that he had to be back at a spot tomorrow at 2 o'clock because the man was going to bring him a can of Coca-Cola. Could you believe it? Yeah. This stuff is happening here in Edmonton. It's why the work that you, Sherry Lynn, and your team at Kid Proof Edmonton are doing is so important. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Stranger Smarts. If you want to learn more, as mentioned, you can check out the website kidproofliving.com. We'll link to that on our website. Great work they're doing there. It's just about 6:27. We're back with news, traffic, and weather. And then say what? The unconventional news headlines coming up in 13 minutes. We'll see you soon.